We're going to turn it over to Anastacia now. So Anastacia, it's all you, okay?
So the title of my presentation today is Full Body Presence in the World of Zoom, because what I have had to do is really turn up the volume on my use of self when I'm doing online sessions. So I'm going to first begin with a quote that I'm sure many of you have seen. This is a quote from one of the Satir Institute of the Pacific training manuals. The use of self in therapy is the most powerful tool that the therapist has. When a therapist is congruent, he or she is in touch with the wisdom of universal life energy and can connect with the client at the level of his or her universal life energy. From that connection, infinite possibilities arise. And that's Kathleen Mackey-Banman and John Banman. And now, because it is Friday, and because I think we could all use some cute animal pictures, I'm going to show you a cute animal picture, and I'd love to see what it inspires for you. I found this slide a few days ago, this photograph, and what impressed me about it was the deep connectionality between these animals, particularly the one on the left and the young one. But I'd love to just give you a few seconds to soak up the relationality between each of these characters in the tableau. And the deep connection and the way that they are all so incredibly physically and energetically present with each other really inspired me. And in a way, when we work with others and we're in the same room, we can create that kind of relationality in the same space. But unfortunately with COVID, and here comes another cute animal picture, we end up with this. And so sometimes the shift between working in person and working online can be rather startling, and probably has been rather startling for many of you in addition to me. And so when we find ourselves in this new environment, having to deliver services in a very new way, we have to begin to consider what's different and what do we need to do. So we've got all kinds of different things, and I'm sure that there are many of them on the tips of all of your tongues. Can we use the chat function while we're in a PowerPoint, Jennifer or Linda?
Yes.
Oh, super.
I think that I can. I think everybody should be able to go down to the bottom of their screen and see chat.
My screen, so I can't screen share, but you can. If you want to, I'm going to leave the screen up, but if you want to add in the chat box, make a comment about what has been different for you about working online with clients versus working in person. And we'll just take about a minute or 2 minutes just to see what the comments are. What do you find the major differences are? And I hope I can see the comments. So Linda or Jennifer, when a chat is logged, could you read it out loud?
Yes, good idea. The absence of touch, says Maggie. Ability to touch.
And what else?
We see ourselves.
That's true. Yes.
Delay reaction.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The feeling of being connected and distance at the same. I can't go sit beside someone if they get into a trance state, and that's not helpful.
That's true.
Miss the energy that flows between therapist and client. Physical presence and energy.
Exactly.
Limited views of body language.
That's true.
Slowing down and accelerating the process at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Well, I'm going to move on, and thank you so much. These are all really, really true. And when I thought about this, one of the chief things I thought about was how when we are working with clients, usually we have a very curated environment We have an office which every single object has a purpose or a place. It may be neutral. It may be comforting. You might have a warm pillows or a sunny window or a place for the client to sit where they can be comfortable. But instead, they might be sitting on a bed or in their own home in a small room or in a cluttered office in their own circumstances and their own environment. We're not in charge of that anymore. So we have to be aware that the client's environment is not provided for us, but it's provided by them. And so this brought my attention to the environment as well as our clients. The environment for the client has changed. And instead of this lovely curated environment that we have prepared for them, they get this, a computer, which is, excuse me, quite a big contrast. And now, in addition to things being different, there are a lot of things that are the same, and that's where we can find a lot of resources. So if we could use the chat box again, just briefly, what is the same that hasn't changed, even though we're working online? Use the chat box and enter your ideas. What is the same?
Therapist congruence, connection with client.
Mm-hmm. Great.
One-on-one dialogue, use of our voice and eye contact.
Yes.
The flow of energy between
Very
us.
good. Yes, excellent. Excellent. So there are a lot of things that are the same, even though sometimes we can be focused on the differences. So we have our clients. They are reaching out to us, and we see our clients as full of resources, capable choice makers, resourced with their own life energy and in charge of themselves, as well as much, much, much more. So the question is, how can we connect more deeply with our clients when we are online? And of course, we have Satir's iceberg, or the iceberg metaphor in the Satir model. And I like to share this slide because this is one that Jennifer and Linda prepared. And I like this slide because of, where's my cursor here? Let's see if I have a cursor. Well, notice the word physiology on the left-hand side of the iceberg. The physiology, our physiology and the client's physiology is interconnected inseparably with all the levels of their iceberg. And so because we are no longer in each other's physical presence, if we can become more and more aware and use more and more effectively the physiology and the environment in our awareness, then we can really turn up the level of connection that we can achieve with our clients. So I like to present this slide, and thank you, Linda and Jennifer, for this, because it mentions the physiology, and the physiology is so important. As you pointed out, we cannot touch one another. We cannot sit next to someone if needed. We cannot really have a full view of what's happening in their body and how they're connecting. So I'm going to focus today on using the physiology and the awareness of environment as ways that we can enhance our performance so that we can connect deeper with ourselves and our clients. So as we prepare ourselves to serve another, we can use the body, your breath, your sensations, just as Jennifer did in the beautiful meditation. You can use your connection to your own environment, how you prepare your own surroundings, that make sure that you have fresh air, make sure you have adequate warmth and light, make sure you have aroma if having a steaming cup of tea serves you, or if you have resources in your environment that can support you in having more and more presence and groundedness in the present moment. And Jennifer, would you mind sharing just for a second about what you have in your environment that supports you as a resource?
Okay, well, I have a few things in my environment, but one thing that's important to me is having some kind of life, like plant life. And even though my office is in my garage, literally, but I have a plant. Well, sometimes it's a bonsai tree and sometimes it's a plant, but I have some kind of green in there. And I know it's for me, but it's also for my clients or for my groups that I work, because I think the visual also brings, people have commented that it just brings a sense of peace for them. And I do have my essential oils here too for my own grounding and being present.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So as we're preparing ourselves to serve another, a part of that process is always acknowledging and temporarily setting aside our own personal unfinished business so we can be present for our client and connecting to our hopes and wishes for our client. And so this is something you would do whether you're in the same office, in the same room with your clients, or if you're online with your clients. And for me, it's a bit more intentional when I'm online, because I find that I need to just do this much, much more consciously than I necessarily have to pay as much attention when I'm working with people in person. It's so ingrained in how I operate that I can do it very quickly in a moment. When I'm working online, it takes me just another couple of minutes. So just being aware of your preparation process, whatever it is for you, and your own surroundings or environment and your resources that you keep nearby to fuel yourself. And then to increase connection online, we want to increase awareness of the body. So your awareness of your own body and your own energy will increase your ability to connect deeper with your clients. And it's sometimes you might think, well, I don't want to pay attention to myself too much because I want to be focused on my clients and their process. But today we're going to amplify a little bit the focus on this channel 1 so that we can learn how to use our channel 1 very effectively to interact with the channel 2 of what's happening for the client. So our body sense can help us sense what's going on in ourselves and also what's happening for another, meaning our clients. So how can we do that when we are working with another? We can check in with our own body sensations and energy, and you could do that with a touch. You could do that with simply a little bit of awareness. And you could respond slightly to your body sensations or energy just to acknowledge them. If we are preparing to serve our clients, we can stand or stretch or move as we prepare. We can take note of sensations while we are working, monitoring your channel 1 as necessary, just really staying grounded in the body. And we can then use our body wisdom to confirm when our client is experiential. And you may already have this kind of sensation when you're working with someone and you know that they have shifted from story into experiential. And using your own body wisdom can be very helpful in determining that. So your observations may be, you may not be able to see your whole client, but your body wisdom will resonate because you're in connection with your client, will resonate with them once they are experiential, and you can really enjoy monitoring the richness of that. Yeah. And you can also use your body wisdom to get curious about what might be happening for your client. Because sometimes our channel 1 will get activated when something's going on for our client. And maybe it's some part of them that we cannot see, or it's some part of them that they have not disclosed to us, or it could be some part of them inside that they're not even aware of. And so your body wisdom will often give you feedback that you can use to get curious. If there's some sensation that you experience and you're not sure where it's coming from, you can always check it out. And then your awareness of your client actually creates a safe container for them. So I repeat this image of the lighthouse. And what I like about this image is that the light that shines out is diffuse. It's generalized. It's illuminating things far, far, far away. And it's not with a lot of effort or specificity like a searchlight or a spotlight. So when we direct our awareness to our clients, and we try so hard when we're online, we can project it like a searchlight and it can be quite intense. But if we think about a diffuse light of our awareness that kind of immerses us in our own awareness, and also our environment, and as well our clients and their environment. And when we can broaden our awareness like this soft, gentle lighthouse signal light, we can begin to illuminate things that are in the environment and in our client. So we can illuminate even that which is outside of where we can see. And we can help sense our clients experientially when we use our awareness as a safe container. So as our senses are open, we can use our awareness to celebrate their resources, to anchor their changes, and to know when it is we need to look a bit deeper. So we can do this by checking in with your client's body sensations and energy. What do you notice as you're sitting here right now? Are you comfortable? Do you need to change position or get another chair? Or is there any way that you could be more comfortable? Are you warm enough? And then include their body experience in your exploration. And in the SIP, we often in our trainings include the body a lot. And it's especially useful when you cannot see your whole client to help inquire what's happening right now, what's happening in the lower body, what's happening in your legs. You know, if you wiggled your toes, what would that feel like? You know, you can ask them to explore what they're sensing and how they want to interact with that. And you can notice the shifts in their body with curiosity, when they shift their posture, when they change their facial expression, when their affect shifts, or when their breath changes, or you sense movement. Someone sits up straight, for instance, or leans forward, or leans to the side. What's going on that your body just moved like that? I notice a big smile on your face. Tell me what's going on inside right now? What is this smile telling you? And you can use their body wisdom in exploring, celebrating, and as well as anchoring. And we increase our awareness of the environment. When we increase our awareness of our own environment, it helps keep us grounded in space and in time. Because when we're online, I don't know if you're like me, but when I go online, sometimes it's like a black hole and I can follow threads and I can slip into a way of participating online where I get caught up in things and I lose track of time. So being very aware of my environment when I'm working with others online helps keep me grounded in time and place. And as Jennifer mentioned, we can personalize it with our external resources. We can also extend our awareness into the client's environment, and we can include that in our peripheral awareness. That is their safe container that they have chosen for themselves, so that you can use it transparently as a resource to help ground your clients in space and time. So you can check in with your client's environment, ask them if they need to move or reposition themselves or settle, get more comfortable. You can be aware of what's around them, what they see or touch. It's amazing how much rapport you can create simply by asking, do you have a window? When you look out that window, what do you see? What's on the table next to you? You know, what objects do you have around you right now? Fill me in so that I can have a sense of the space that you're at. And then we can include our environment in our peripheral awareness as part of the safe container we provide. We can be aware, are there other people in the next room? Or is the client by themselves? Are they in a place where they feel safe? Yes, are they in an environment that's conducive for their feeling safe and comfortable? So in working online, the first thing we need to do is to make contact. So we're, just as a recap, we're increasing the awareness of your body and your environment and awareness of their body and their environment. So we are going to do an experiential exercise in dyads to help enhance the practice of using the awareness of your body and your environment and their body and their environment. And I would like to introduce the experiential exercise. And just to frame it to begin with is we're really going to focus a lot on channel 1 and channel 2. So what's happening for yourself and what's happening for the other. And the focus of this experiential exercise is really to develop making contact. And I'd like you to have the most luxurious amount of time, 5 minutes, for making contact before you even begin to approach anything that has content. And you may be able to make contact with your clients in 30 seconds in your office, or you have familiarity, that it's a familiar surroundings, they're prepared to see you, they've sat perhaps in an entrance area, everybody's ready, you're ready for them, they're ready for you. But when we're working online, people are sometimes going from one task to another, they're interrupting their day, they're changing where they're sitting, or they're having to really change gears from work into personal. And so I would like to give you the opportunity to spend 5 minutes making contact with your client, their body, and their environment. And really until you feel a sense of rapport. And then I'd like to give you 10 minutes to explore one simple question and see what it's like to explore one question in the state of having prepared yourself and your environment and prepared this rapport of connection with your client and with their environment. So I'll go now to share screen again, and I will put on the screen the directions of the, here we go, of the exercise. Excuse me. So this will be the part 1. We will do this in dyads, and you'll decide which role you'd like to be, either the interviewer or the star, and then we will switch roles so that the star gets to be the interviewer next. The question that you'll explore is, what is your deepest desire for yourself right now? And the preparation for that is spending 5 minutes making contact with yourself and your star, embracing your body, your environment, and their environment in your awareness, in your diffuse awareness. There you go.